I mean, it's just fun, don't look at it as an experience. I look at it as a blessing, and an opportunity just to go out there with my brothers again. But, yeah, you can't take none of these moments for granted. It's 100 teams that wish they were in this position to be playing. So you just got to make the most of it and don't take anything for granted.
Y'all haven't been underdogs very often in your career the last couple of years here. Like, do you get to play that chip this week? Like, how do you kind of go into this game?
I mean, the way we always go about it, Coach Sark always tells us to be enamored with us. So no matter if people are rooting for us, people are not, at the end of the day, we just got to play our game. When we play our best game, we're a dominant team. So.
After watching some of the film, what's impressed you about this wide receiver core?
I mean, the whole receiver core, they're packed with a veteran quarterback that can get them the ball. They can get the ball in space on swing passes and things like that. A lot of deep shots and things like that, play actions. But, I mean, it's a fantastic offense they have going. So for our job, just to do our job and make sure we're dialed in our keys and doing our responsibility. And nobody has to be the hero. Just do your job, and ultimately that would be our success.
Is there something different because they're so explosive that you guys have to do defensively?
No, sir. Just dialing in and make sure we're executing PK's plan and not getting out of sort or trying to do too much. So just doing our job.
What does it mean to get to play this semifinal in your home state? To get the opportunity to come back to AT&T Stadium again and play here again?
I mean, again, it's a blessing. All these are a blessing. You can't take these for granted. Most people don't get opportunities to still be playing, and then to still be playing. I mean, down the road from us, that's another blessing. So a lot of our fans can be here. Easy way for our parents to travel and things like that, especially my parents. So that's nice. But yeah.
Tony, when you see Jeremiah Smith, have you studied him enough to basically be able to give an idea of what's special about him?
Yeah, he does a lot of special things. He's a big receiver, but he attacks the ball. He has good strong hands, good route running. He's a double move guy and things like that. So all those are taking place in my head on the process. But football it's 11 people. We have a D-line, tremendous D-line that's going to put pressure on the quarterback. So that'll help up and mess up the timing and things like that. So it's a lot of things that are going into a football game. But the opportunity is going to be amazing in front of us.
Yeah, I was going to say they move him around a lot too, try to get.
Yeah, he goes outside in the slot and things like that. So it'll be an amazing opportunity for our guys and for me to go against them. So.
Yeah, do you think you'll go against him most of the time, no matter what they do? I know you won't give me away your secret, but
yeah,
see a kind of an all-day affair with him, so to speak.
I mean, not sure. I mean, just like he gets moved around, I get moved around a lot too. So he plays the slot outside. I play slot outside. So it could be various of different times we see each other.
Is there any moment?
His impact at Phil,
Yeah.
In the big games this year, he's had an impact whether it be in limited snaps or not. Just talk about confidence in him and the role that he's going to grow into this year.
I mean, every time Gavin comes in, he produces, and I tell him just to make the most of his opportunities. That's what he continues to do, Every time he goes in, you see growth from him, and that's the type of player he is. And then he's another player that we need on special teams. He makes big-time plays for us on special teams and things like that. But the growth of Gavin Holmes has been big for us.
So before this game against Ohio State, how will you feel?
I'm confident. I'm confident just due to my faith in God, my faith in the program, my faith in the coaches, and my teammates. I'm very confident going into this game. They're physical. They're gonna populate the ball, and yeah. I haven't really compared them.
How do you feel about the underdog title?
I don't feel no way about it. I really ain't even paid no mind to it, truth be told.
I know you guys run a lot of zone and gap concepts. What do you personally, as a back, feel like you're more successful running zone schemes or gap schemes?
Gap scheme.
Gap scheme. Okay. And not asking for you like give me the play name, but is there a particular play that y'all run that's kind of your favorite? You decide when you're like, all right, it's coming to me, we're going.
I'm gonna say I'm not even sure really. Not even sure. Thank you. Just being blessed with the opportunity to come out and perform at a high level on a high stage like this. Not many get to do it, so just being blessed enough to be able to do this.
What do you plan to do after presuming you win? What are your plans for the rest of the weekend?
Celebrate with my family and recover.
Guys here with UT star running back Jahdae Wisner. Trey, we want to get to know you better by asking you 3 random questions that have nothing to do with football. You ready for this?
Ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it then. Question number 1 for you. If you had to start a career in anything other than football, what would it be?
Other than football, I want to be a CEO of like, let me see how I can put this. I want to run. I want to go back to my little town that I'm from. I want to buy all the sports management stuff, like little dribblers gym, little youth football teams. I want to buy it all. I want to own it all. That's what I want.
You have a passion for coaching kids, teaching the next generation of athletes?
Definitely. I'm real big on tapping into the youth because that's something I really didn't have growing up. So, just being able to give the youth key details on the way life should go, but, life not going to always go how you think it should. But just being able to tap into the youth and just let them know from my experience on how you can avoid certain things and how you can attract certain things and go about certain things.
I know in your sports agency that you're going to have, your sports gym that you're going to have, there's going to be football. Give me 3 other sports you know you'd have at that gym.
Basketball, soccer.
Okay.
I would say baseball, but I'm scared of baseball. I'm scared of baseball. Let me see. Basketball, soccer. I want to do something crazy. And rugby.
Ooh, I like that.
We'll do rugby.
I like the rugby thing and the fact that you are scared of baseballs but not scared of middle linebackers. There's something there, but we'll tap into that later.
I got you.
Question number 2 for you, Trey. Think of all the apps on your phone. Take away social media. Which remaining app do you use the most?
Notes. Because I talk to myself a lot. I'm real big on like a quote I see, I put it down in my notes, or something I'm thinking, I type it in my notes so I can express myself that way whenever I'm alone and I ain't got nobody to talk to.
You have your phone on you right now?
I do.
I mean, we don't pay any attention to that as a program. Again, we just rely on what the coaches are telling us, Coach Sarker's telling us, and, we rely on our prep that's where we're getting our confidence from.
Can you speak to your comfortability in that stadium?
Yeah, I mean, I've played in it a couple of times dating back to high school, so I really do enjoy playing there. Obviously, it's close to where I'm from, so, that Dallas air is just a little different. It's nice.
What's your record there?
I don't even know. I think I lost 1 game there, if I'm not mistaken.
But the other day you talked about how excited you were to connect some guys like Jack Sawyer, guys you played with. Does it feel real that you're actually here now? Just talk about what that's going to mean to you.
Yeah, no, it's wild. I don't think it's really going to feel real till we get on that field, but I'm excited to get to see those guys. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's just completely 2 different outcomes of a game. Winning's a whole lot nicer, especially a Big 12 championship game. But going back to it again, I enjoy playing in the stadium for sure.
When you got to this point, semifinals last year, you've had to win a couple extra games though to get there this year. How does it feel how these games stacking on top of you?
I feel like we're in a good spot. I like the 12-team playoff, and I forget how many weeks we had off for the 4-man playoff. It might have like 2.5 or 3 or something like that. But it's nice to still be playing football and keep that momentum rolling.
I mean, you think it was inevitable that one of these days you were going to play Ohio State, play against Ohio State? You're still going to say.
Yeah, it is. It's a full circle moment for sure. So, excited to get to see those guys and get to be up against them.
What's the best thing you picked up the 4 months you were there?
Well, I think being able to watch how CJ was in front of me, so being able to watch how CJ and Coach Day and those guys prepared at a high level for the college games, and I mean that was my first time getting implemented into college football, so that's one thing.
You said you felt the overwhelm there. Can you just talk about how special? I mean, I know it was for a short period of time, but how special that culture was for you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they all welcomed me with open arms, and it was weird for me just because I skipped my senior year, and I'm going in the middle of fall camp, and it's just a weird dynamic for somebody to do that, and they all welcomed me, and everybody was friendly, so you know, I felt it all clicked pretty early, and you know, I'm glad I got to do that.
Playing short trip here, does it feel like a home game? Or do you think it's going to feel like a home game?
Yeah, I mean, being in Texas, you know, and an out-of-state opponent coming in, you know, it does feel like a home game. Obviously, you know, we got a lot of guys from DFW, so you know, that helps for sure.
What do you remember about the feeling after that Washington game?
Yeah, it wasn't very fun, that's for sure. But I knew this is exactly where we wanted to be. We wanted to be right back here where we are right now. You know, I was going to do anything it took to get us back right here. I know all the leaders on that team, they're the same exact thing.
So how, I guess, gratifying is it that you were able to accomplish that?
It's definitely a good feeling, but it just feels like we're far from our final goal. Relying on what other people think of me won't get me anywhere. And that's just, it's not a healthy way to go about life. And I think my relationship with Jesus has helped me really fully understand that that's my reality. It doesn't matter what other people are saying about me. God has made me who I am, and that's the reality of the whole entire situation for me in my life.
When did you come to that realization?
Fully? Last year, because not my first year when I was here, but the first year we went to the CFP. I feel like that entire year and that off season was a big growing moment for me, and it kind of switching in my life to where I think I fully opened up my heart to what Jesus and God were telling me instead of relying on my own understanding. But I just wanted to fully give myself to Him and fully allow His will be done in my life instead of trying to force certain things that just wouldn't fit.
So many of you guys are talking openly about that. Like Ohio State, almost the whole team talks openly about their relationship with the Lord and stuff. Where does that confidence, that comfort come from?
Yeah, well, I think as athletes, you go through so many ups and downs. You have to have something to fall back on, and you know, especially in this world, I mean, you cannot rely on what this world tells you about yourself, especially just because, I mean, this was the world who thought it was a good idea to kill a man who lived a perfect life and crucify him. So, I mean, you just can't rely on what the world tells you and who you are. But I mean, it's definitely super cool to see how everybody's talking about their relationship with God. And I see all the stuff that, you know, was going on at Ohio State with Trey and all those guys. You know, getting to see all that stuff has been super cool. I mean, I saw they hosted, I can't remember what it was, but I saw a bunch of people getting baptized on campus there, and I saw a bunch of students that were out there. I mean, that's just stuff that the game of football has allowed these people and these men to be able to do, which is, it's just super cool to see stuff like that, them using their platform that way.
Was there a time in your career gained something where it clicked for you that like the outside was
I think it took time more than just a single moment. But, you know, going through my first year here, I was more for sure just, you know, wanting to know what people were saying about me and, you know, what I did that week or whatever it was. And then that season didn't go how we wanted it to, and I realized that something had to change, and I could just feel God telling me, you know, it doesn't matter what these people are saying about you. I know who you are, and you know who you are, so just go rely on what I'm telling you. Yeah, well, I think when things are going your way, it could be, you know, it's a stretch for sure, but I mean, it feels good, and you know, it's like it's a desire that can be addicting for people, and you know, I think I fell into that at, you know, a younger age, but I'm super glad that that's not who I am anymore.
Quinn, how did you spend the trip up here?
Say it again?
How did you spend the time, like the trip up here? What did you do?
I watched the last episode of Landman on the plane. I downloaded it. It's a great show, by the way. It's a little odd, but I don't know that his wife seems a little bipolar, but I don't know how he handles it. But it's a good show overall. I like it. Cooper Norris seems to be coming on the come up with all his mineral rights, so I'm excited to see how that goes.
What did you think of the performance by Jerry Jones?
Oh, I thought he did a good job. I was surprised, honestly. He seemed like he knew what he was doing for sure. It was cool.
So, man, you say you pay your mom a salary. If you guys win it all, does mom get a pay raise or?
Not looking too far ahead because I'll trip on what's right in front of me. So, again, that's too selfish of thinking for me to even be thinking about what's next for me.
But are you at least aware that there's a lot of speculation out there that people are going to throw huge numbers at you to go in the portal after the season and that kind of stuff?
I mean, right now I'm just not worried about all that stuff. I mean, people can say all they want to say, but I'm just focused on Friday at this point in time.
Quinn, when's the last time you remember being nervous?
Nervous? I mean, I still get nervous for sure, but I just don't think – I think I do a good job of just understanding that moment, whatever moment it is that I'm nervous about, it doesn't define who I am as a person, and it doesn't define who I am in God's eyes. And understanding and knowing that has just kind of put like this force field of peace around me that I think allows me to be able to be calm in certain situations, but it doesn't. I still get nervous. For sure.
What makes you nervous?
I mean, I just love the game so much, and if you don't get nervous or a little bit of butterflies, I don't think you have that same love. I mean, I've got butterflies since going into football games since I was 5-6 years old. So I don't want that feeling to ever disappear or go away because I'll know I just football just doesn't mean as much as it did to me back then, and I want it to always mean that much to me.
Back then, were you also steady and calm, like in or out?
I've been told, but I don't know. I think so.
You number 2 on Ohio State, Caleb Downs. Does he make you nervous?
Must be an Ohio State guy.
Well, like jumper, but yeah.
I mean, he's a great player for sure. We played against him at Alabama, and he's a super instinctual guy, and I think they do a really good job of allowing him to play off of instincts, and he's always. It seems to be that he's most of the time in the right spot for sure.
Yeah, I've always been lucky enough to play for 2 of the bigger college programs in the nation. Giant state schools, big budgets, big departments. At the end of it, is there really that much difference between the 2?
It's just hard to say because I was only at Ohio State for a semester, so I just didn't get to experience that, like, the off season and how all that stuff went. But, I mean, to be 2 of the top programs for the past, since college football has started, it seems like, I mean, you got to have some similarities about you, for sure.
Did you notice people staring at you hard when you first showed up at Ohio State? You understand what I'm saying? When you're one of the most celebrated guys to ever walk in there and stuff. Could you feel the attention?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could just, feel, everybody was excited that I think, I think that whole recruiting class that they got and, me being a part of it, yeah.
But also the way you came in. I mean,
Yeah, it was definitely
foregoing your senior year in high school and stuff. It doesn't happen a whole lot, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different than what most people do for sure, going in the middle of fall camp and, just trying to find my way. And it was special because it taught me who I was. And, I had to grow up real fast, leaving the parents' house a year early and, going to live, pretty much on my own. It was I just had to grow up fast, for sure, mature fast. It's the best thing in the world. Not a whole lot of people get to say that. And, I don't want to take for granted any day, any moment that, I get, I'm gifted to be able to play quarterback at the University of Texas.
Considering how much football y'all played, these 3 games in the playoffs, how are you physically and mentally feeling, and how's the team feel as far as preparing for this game against Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, we feel great. No one's 100%, but that goes for any team. Especially this deep in the playoffs and this deep in the season. We're as close to 100% as we can be, but it's pretty much impossible to be 100% fresh. But I mean, we're all ready and we're all excited for the opportunity in front of us for sure.
What's different about Ohio State's defense than everybody you played?
Well, I just think that they got a lot of talent in every spot. I mean, they got great defensive tackles, great edge rushers, good linebacker crew, good safeties, good corners. I mean, they just don't have a spot that, isn't really good and it's solid, which is hard to do, but they did it. Every now and then, for sure. Yes, sir.
Will you actually get to go home, or is it going to be pretty much hotel practice?
No, it's hotel. I don't want to change anything up. I'm just going to be at the hotel. Yes, sir.
You mentioned about being nervous. Is there anything about Ohio State that makes you nervous?
I mean, not nervous, no. I think that, as a team, we play best when we have confidence, and I wouldn't think that we feel nervous about anything. But, they're a really good defense, and they do a really good job of, creating stress on their opponent's offenses for sure, though. I don't think it has anything to do with football, though. I think getting to hear those guys' stories in the wintertime when we did our Culture Wednesdays, getting to hear all those guys, where they came from and, what hardships they had to go through to get to where they are right now. And then fall camp, hanging out in the players' lounge, playing pool, playing Xbox, whatever it is. I mean, I'm not going to remember what happened in the second quarter against Arkansas, on the second drive. I won't remember that, but I'll remember those moments that I got to spend with my teammates in the players' lounge or whatever it was.
Speaking of those guys' stories, what sort of impact has Andrew Makuba has a really moving story? What sort of impact has he made in 1 year on this team?
I think he's made a giant impact, not just on the defense, but I think the whole team. I mean, just getting to see him come in and contribute to us and kind of buy into what we believe and kind of adding some stuff to what he believes has been super special for everybody on this team.
Do you guys use the underdog status as like a rallying cry, or maybe like people asking you all about it? How do you guys kind of handle that?
No, I mean, I don't pay attention, and this team doesn't pay attention to what other people think the score is going to be or whatever it is. I mean, I think when you get focused on, if you're an underdog or if you're projected to win the game, you start making mistakes. Like you're trying to do something extra that just doesn't need to be done.
Did you enjoy a track meet Friday? Score for score, somebody wins 48-46.
Would I enjoy that?
Yeah.
If we come out on top, sure.
But just that type of game would be fun, right?
It'd be fun for the fans for sure. I mean, but I'm excited to see, our defense get to go up against, their offense and whatnot, and vice versa. But as long as we come out on top, I'd sure be happy with that question.
When's the last time you were nervous in a football game?
I mean, I think nerves come and go, and it's not like I don't get nervous. I get maybe not nervous, but I was talking about it earlier. I mean, I want to feel those nerves, because if I don't, that's when I know it just doesn't mean as much as it did to me back when I did feel those nerves. So I think those nerves are a good thing for me.
They probably go away pretty quickly.
Yeah, they go away fast. I mean, I really just feel it like it's like butterflies before you go out.
Yeah.
That first kickoff, the first snap, whatever it is.
People always describe you as like a steady sea, a calm, and we do see that. You seem to have a short memory. Have you always been that way? We see emotion on the sidelines that we don't see from you here because you're pretty low key here. But have you always been that low key when you played?
Yeah, I think I always had that in me. I mean, just like you said, short-term memory, which I mean, it's tough to kind of get in that mode just whenever. I mean, it's hard to go drive down the field after you threw a pick or whatever it is, but I mean, I can't be selfish in that moment and think it's all about me. I mean, I gotta put, all I got on the line to, for my teammates. Well, I think they just do a really good job of playing sound defense. They're coached really well, and I think they do a good job of creating pressure with their D-line and their linebackers. And, they seem to be in the right spot a lot of times, that's for sure.
Quinn, what is this team, or what do guys who are on this team who went to the Sugar Bowl last year to help in this upcoming game at the same stage?
Yeah, well, I think one thing is you can't teach or coach experience. So, all those guys that were in that locker room, they have that experience, and they know what it's going to feel like running out of that tunnel for a semifinal game, and they know what that feeling is going to be like whenever you get that first play. And ultimately we know what it takes to be able to win the game, and now we just have to go put that into motion.
How come you don't wear your black hat and cowboy hat?
My cowboy hat?
Yeah.
Man, who knows? It didn't make the trip this time.
But if you had to get any tickets from your friends for your friendly back home, or what are your thoughts about this playing when you're back there?
It's great to be able to play right around the house. I love playing in AT&T Stadium. I've been fortunate enough to play a couple games here, so I'm excited. And my mom handles all the tickets. I just send it to her, and she takes care of the rest.
Anybody ask you about transferring for $6 million yet?
I think we got a couple questions earlier.
How'd you answer that? Since I missed it.
I just said that, I think that's selfish of me to be able to be even, thinking about it or looking at that. I owe my teammates, the best version of me right now. I can't be looking forward. I'll trip on the rock that's sitting right in front of me. I gotta be locked in on what's right here.
In an armchair, psychologist, you seem a lot more relaxed this week, especially we talked about Monday and today. How are you feeling right now, kind of going into this?
I feel great. I think as a team we're in a really good mental space right now, and I think that we had a good week of prep. Obviously we have a walkthrough tomorrow, but I think we've done a really good job this entire week of just focusing on the small things, because to win big you got to think small.
A lot of these guys who obviously play at Ohio State, do you kind of have to worry about getting too emotional or let that bleed into a football game? How do you kind of shut that off?
Yeah, I don't think I'll get too emotional or anything like that. I think it's cool to be able to go up against these guys. Obviously, I have some relationships over there, and it'll be fun to get to see those guys.
What do you think of your coordinators matching hats?
I think it's cool. I think they do a good job of bringing their own little style. It's cool.
A year ago this time, everybody was wondering if you were going to play for the Jazz, just had to come back. Maybe, obviously you're here, you guys have had a successful season, but outside of that, why was it the right decision for you to return?
Yeah. I just felt like my time here wasn't done yet. And I felt like I wanted another season here. And I wanted to have this feeling again. A semifinal game, that is. And ultimately our end goal is to be playing on January 20th. And I just wanted more experience playing football. I wanted to have more starts under my belt before I entered the NFL and just have, again, more experience, because there's a line of demarcation with guys that have really successful careers in the NFL, and that's around 25 starts in college. And I wanted to be able to maximize my potential.
Quinn, what happens on Thursday or potentially the national championship played your thinking at all about what you're going to do?
I have no idea. That's a great question. I couldn't tell you. Like I said, I'm just focused on Friday, because I think that'd be doing a disservice to my teammates.
You done anything to help Bert Auburn kind of rise above these issues?
I think that he's in a good spot right now.
Do you?
I think that he had a good week of prep this week. From the times that I got to watch him. Obviously, being a kicker is very stressful, especially in the spot that we are right now. But Bert's got my full confidence, and I know that, no matter what comes his way. He's been facing a whole lot this week, that's for sure. But I think he's handled it really well this week. I mean, from the outside. I'm not sure what happens and what he's dealing with when he leaves the facility and all that stuff, but he's got my full confidence, and I'm not worried about him this coming Friday. I think he's going to do a wonderful job.
There's only a couple positions where everybody in the stadium is watching that guy on every play, and it's probably quarterback and kicker. Do you guys do you discuss all the noise or all the criticism or anything?
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't, and I don't
Block that out.
think we need to. I think that again, we just need to focus on doing our 111th, and our 111th may be a little bit bigger than others, but at the end of the day, it's still 111.
Ask PK about the black hat if it makes me a villain. And he said, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, I like the look PK's got going. I think it's a good look.
I know you're not, you kind of downplay the revenge game storyline element, but is there anything of value at all that you took from your experience at Ohio State and applied it to this matchup this week?
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, just a credit to them for taking a chance on me coming out of high school. I mean, I'm super thankful for the opportunity that I had going up there, and Coach Day giving me a shot, and congrats on them on a great year as well. But I don't want to look at it like any sort of revenge game or anything like that. But what I did take out from being at Ohio State was, that was the first time that I really was, implemented into a college play scheme and playbook. So, I think I learned kind of what it took to be able to play quarterback at this position. Sitting behind C.J. Stroud and kind of watching how he prepared for games and watching how Coach Day, went over film with us or whatever it is. I think that's where my mind kind of was like, okay, this is what it takes to be elite at a college level. And I mean, obviously, there's a difference between high school football and college football, so it was kind of a wake-up call for me for sure.
And win or lose, are you going to try and seek him out after Coach Day out after the game and have a word with him? Is there an opportunity for that?
I mean, it'd be cool to shake his hand for sure. It's been a while for all those guys. It'd be cool to see all those guys for sure, but it'd be cool to shake his hand.
How many plays did you get in freshman year?
2.
Who was it against?
Michigan State.
Okay, did you hand them off, though?
I handed them off both, but I should have pulled that first one.
It wasn't 60, right?
It wasn't a read, though, so I was doing my job.
You could have run for 60, right?
Yeah, I might have scored. You never know.
Have you thought about what it would be like to quarterback that team, man?
Ohio State?
Yeah.
No, sir.
No.
This is my dream right here.
Aren't you the only Ohio State quarterback still playing who's beating Michigan?
Who knows? Maybe so. I don't look into all that stuff.
When let's say you guys win this game, advance to the national championship, that's like your 18th game or something in the season.
Yes, sir.
With the expanded playoff and all that, at what point do you maybe feel like the college football season is getting too long, or is it too many games? How do you feel?
I don't think it's too many games. I think that's below my decision making anyway, but I think it's getting us ready for the next level. At the end of the day, is just being able to prepare for these longer seasons if you're fortunate enough to make the playoffs in the NFL and go to the championship games and then ultimately the Super Bowl. I think it's helping us learn our routine, if that makes sense. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys that make me laugh? I like this question. Hayden Connor makes me laugh all the time. Jake Majors, Gunnar Helm, for sure, those guys. DeAndre Moore is a funny guy. Cedric Baxter. I mean, all these guys are hilarious. Once you get to know them, once you build those relationships, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. Good question.
After playing through a full SEC schedule, there's been some talk, should there have been another SEC team in the playoff or a Big Ten team? You played through an SEC schedule. Can you imagine another SEC team in the playoff? And if so, who do you think probably would have been the best fit for that?
In what terms? Like
if we were to drop SMU, for example, plug in an SEC.
Oh, okay. Like in the earlier time of talking. Okay. I think that the College Football Committee has a reason for all the teams that they put in, and I think every team that was in there deserved to be in there. It doesn't matter what the ultimate score was of each game. I think every team had a good enough season to where they earned their right to be in the CFP, no matter what conference they were in.